So many people are looking at 2024 to be the beginning of the next crypto bull run. And as the space is gearing up for the next wave of crypto expansion, everybody's asking like, hey, what's the next big thing? Everywhere I look, people are talking about real world assets, Web 3.0 social networks, blockchain scaling, and so much more. But there's one massive crypto trend that everybody's basically forgotten about that just had a major breakthrough in the past few weeks and could be one of the next big things going into 2024 and beyond. So what is it? Well, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know in this video today as a blockchain developer myself who works this technology on a daily basis. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to know how to become a blockchain master step-by-step from start to finish, get ahead of the next crypto wave, then I can show you how to do that over at adaptuniversity.com/bootcamp. All right, so let's get into this. Let's talk about this major crypto trend that everybody's forgotten about that just took a massive leap forward in the past few weeks. So what is it? Well, it's the metaverse. Wait, what? I thought that was a completely overhyped idea from 2021 that basically died out. Well, sort of, but not exactly. Well, just a few weeks ago, we saw an insane interview with Mark Zuckerberg and Lex Fridman done entirely in VR that shows the crazy advancements that Meta, the company formerly known as Facebook, that's been pushing the metaverse, the movements they've made towards metaverse, and it's a huge leap forward than what we saw just a couple of years ago. It's really impressive. So you can go check out the full interview on YouTube here. I'm not going to really play certain clips of it because I don't want this video to get like a copyright strike or something like that. But basically, it's an interview done between Lex and Mark where it's entirely in VR, okay? And everything that you're seeing on each side of the screen here is not their actual faces. Basically, it's an artificial intelligence generated avatar where they basically scanned their entire image, and it's just the images of one another talking to each other. And it's crazy how photorealistic it is. And you can even see the intro here with Lex, with his avatar standing on this white background in a metaverse-like context, introducing the podcast like he normally does, which looks a whole lot like the original Matrix movie where, Morpheus is showing Neo what the Matrix is all about. It's crazy what the resemblance is. And so how does it work? Well, basically what they do is they take the actual person, like Mark Zuckerberg, for example, and they basically scan him, okay? A 360-degree scan of his body, and they're able to make a rendering of that becomes Mark's avatar. That's what you would see inside of the metaverse in this example. So basically then, Mark puts on an Oculus headset, a VR headset that's monitoring, what he's doing, how he's moving, what he's saying, and then it animates the avatar based on what he's doing and saying. And if another person has got a VR headset on, they can see that, okay, in 3 dimensions in real time inside their headset. It's like they're sitting right next to Mark Zuckerberg and actually like watching his mouth move, watching his body do these gestures. It's about as close as you could get to be with an AI version of this person in real time. And then so Lex on the other side basically does the same thing. They scan him, he puts on a headset, they generate an avatar for him, and then Mark and Lex are able to have a conversation from, thousands of miles away, just like they're in the same room and recorded this podcast this way. And I definitely recommend you go check out at least parts of this interview. It's absolutely crazy how photorealistic this is. And you might say, well, it doesn't look exactly like the person, but you have to understand, this is a massive leap forward, and this is the worst this technology is ever going to be. It's only going to get better from here. And it completely creates a brand new way for people to interact with each other online, which is going to be a game changer. So why is this such a big surprise? Well, back in 2021, when the metaverse came out, it saw a big hype cycle and then died down really quickly to the point where nobody was taking the metaverse seriously, okay? You see articles like this putting out how stupid the metaverse is. And one of the reasons is, this was the grand reveal. Mark Zuckerberg's talking about how he's, gearing everything up to pivot the entire Facebook company towards Meta. And then they present what they're working on, and it's this really cartoonish version of, Mark Zuckerberg in a really basic video game, and everybody was like, what on earth is this? And consequently, the Meta stock tanked, and then after that, the entire crypto market tanked, along with the rest of the stock market. And since then, basically everybody's forgotten about the metaverse, and nobody's really taken Zuckerberg's vision very seriously. But after something like this, it's hard not to pay attention, okay? That's what you have to understand. This early technology sometimes looks like a toy, like something that's not worth paying attention to, but after a few years of development, it can be really impressive, just like we saw in this interview, and I think this represents a huge leap forward. And on top of that, while everybody's been sleeping on the metaverse, we've seen major advances with things like the Apple Vision Pro, which can be a big part of this leaping forward, and other crypto infrastructure like scaling, which is required for any of the crypto aspect of this to really take off. And so how could this change things? Well, let's look at some of the practical benefits of this technology. So for me, really, it's just the next evolution of human connection. Okay, so, starting off with just things like telephones, where now you can talk to a person in real time, on demand, you can just call them. Then moving on to FaceTime, where you can speak to the person and see them. Well, now you can speak to the person, you can see them, and you can experience them in 3 dimensions, okay? So think about all the possible use cases this unlocks. So personal connection, let's say that you want to talk to a family member that lives, across the world, for example. Well, now you can experience that person in a way more realistic way than ever before, but also opens up the doors for things like remote work, okay? So they talk about this in the interview, actually. So you can create an avatar that looks like you, and your avatar basically doesn't change once it's created. So if you're a remote worker, okay, and you decide to roll out of bed in the morning and you don't shave and, take a shower and get dressed, then you could still look like your presentable working self if you were interacting with your colleagues in remote work in this way. In addition to all the other great things about remote work, like having a more human connection with people around you. It also opens the door for unique online experiences. Like, for example, what if you could actually be in the room with this interview while it's happening, okay? You could watch the podcast. You don't have to watch it in 2 dimensions on YouTube. You could put your headset on and be right next to these people at the podcast table while they're speaking. Like, you're probably never going to get a chance to see Mark Zuckerberg in person, but you basically could get the next best thing this way. And I think this opens up the door for all types of online experiences like live events, okay, which were one of the initial promises in the metaverse in the first place. I definitely think this has some potential because, right now, like Taylor Swift is one of the most popular artists, if not the most popular artist on the face of the planet, with one of the most successful, if not the most successful tours ever in human history. Okay, and a lot of people can't afford the tickets to go to Taylor Swift concerts, so they are literally buying tickets to go to a movie theater to watch the concert in a movie. And so if people are willing to do that, imagine what they would be willing to pay to actually experience the live event in 3 dimensions inside the metaverse. Probably a lot. Now, my mind's already thinking of lots of other things that are more dystopian about this. They even talk about this in the interview, like there's probably going to be people who want to, talk to AI versions of deceased people. So basically if someone's living now and you can scan them and like train an AI based on what they're like or their writings, then you could have, conversations with this person even after they're gone. We'll probably also see people, start to resurrect historical figures to have conversations with them, particularly if they have prolific writings or sayings where you could train an AI to act like that person and then create some type of, avatar with what you think they might have looked like. Like imagine if you wanted to talk to Benjamin Franklin or Plato or Christ, we're probably going to see that type of thing pop up. And also it's undeniable that we're going to see this type of technology, used for adult content. Again, try to keep things family friendly on this channel, but I do want to talk about the realities here. Adult content has been one of the biggest drivers of internet adoption and other technologies coming up very quickly. And I'll let you use your imagination to see how this technology can be used for those purposes. Doesn't take a genius to fill in the gaps. Now, that being said, how does all this tie into crypto? Well, I think there's lots of ways that crypto is going to really fuel the metaverse. We need this type of ability to experience things in the digital world, but there's all things we can do with crypto to make that experience better and make it really not stand alone without crypto in the first place. So one major way is definitely going to be digital identity. I talk about that a lot in this channel, but digital identity is required for the metaverse. So, for example, like how do you know you're actually interacting with the other person on the side of this thing, okay? So what if like Lex Fridman came up to you with this digital avatar and you were talking to him, okay? Well, you'd need some type of digital identity to guarantee that's actually him, okay? Somebody could use an AI voice, scrambler on the back end that makes him sound like Lex Fridman, or just a bot completely that you're talking to. It'd be really easy to get scammed with something like this, so we need decentralized identity in order to make it authentic interaction, okay? So going back to online events, like I was talking about before, I do think online events are going to be a big part of the metaverse. There's all types of applications with NFTs, with ticketing, all the way to, ownership of digital real estate inside the metaverse where these type of events can happen. I don't think that, digital worlds and ownership over those digital worlds are completely off the table. That idea is going to die down with the metaverse, but I definitely think it's part of its resurrection. And so that being said, how could this all be a big catalyst for the next crypto expansion? Well, I kind of liken it to NFTs during the last cycle. Okay, so I got into blockchain back in 2017. 2 cycles ago, basically, everything went up like crazy and then subsequently crashed down for a few years, just like we saw in 2021 into 2022 and 2023. And in 2017, early 2018, NFTs kind of showed their face. We had things like CryptoKitties come out that basically broke the blockchain, but people quickly forgot about them. And I'm telling you right now, like in 2018, 2019, even early 2020, like nobody was really talking about NFTs besides this really tiny niche section of the internet, okay? But when the 2020 cycle came along and the crypto space blew up, after that, NFTs started going like crazy. And so the reason I'm talking about that is like right now, people aren't even talking about the metaverse. Definitely not in the same way people were talking about DeFi back in the previous bull runs. And because we're seeing so much potential just like this, and nobody's talking about the metaverse, it could be one of the trends that pops off the biggest because it's basically getting no attention right now, despite the insane breakthroughs like I'm showing you in this video today. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Is the metaverse actually going to make a comeback? Is it a dead trend that's going nowhere? Do you think that what I'm showing in this video today is cool? Is it not cool? Is it have great potential? Or is it, a net negative for society? I want to know what you think down in the comment section below. And after you leave your comment, make sure you smash the like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so the more people learn about blockchain. And if you want to become a blockchain master, get ahead of the next crypto wave, then how can you do that? Well, you can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those videos and you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, I can show you how to become a blockchain master step-by-step start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You really don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.